very nice teenagers. You're probably right. Because I think you can. We'll move over. Change places.
We can move.
We'll move. Yeah.
Sorry.
You can. So can we see each other now? I think we are very.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of SMU and the Meadow School of the Arts, welcome to a historic event, Ingmar Bergman's visit to our campus and our community, and let's begin.
Barry Stewart.
Mr. Bergman, have you ever seen a production of A Little Night Music?
Yes.
What's your impression of it? I mean, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it very much. But if you want me to say anything about it, it's impossible. Because Little Night Music was a musical. And Smiles of a Summer Night was a picture. And to transform musical in a picture, I think that's very, very difficult.
Sir, you've been quoted as saying, "I work for my contemporaries, not for eternity. My pride is the pride of an artisan." Would you explain that?
Oh God, that's difficult. What do you mean? How do you want me to explain it? It's just that.
Any way you wish, sir.
No, it's just that because you know, when I have been in this business for 40 years now, I have made I don't know how many pictures. I think about 45 with the documentaries. I don't know exactly. And it's not so important. I want and has always wanted. No, that's not true. Because when I was very young, I just wanted to make masterpieces for the eternity. But and I was, of course, very unhappy when it didn't succeed. But today, I feel hantverkare, vad heter det?
Craftsman.
Craftsman. I feel like a craftsman. I make a table, I make a chair, I make a bed, or some things that people need. I hope they need it and they will use them. And they are meant to be used today, not tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I just like to make them, and to as a craftsman, and if then i framtiden, in the future, if then in the future people want to see my pictures, it's okay. I would love it, but I don't care.
Mr. Bergman, what do you view as the most encouraging trends in film today and the most discouraging?
The most encouraging is, I think, that the equipment gets smaller and smaller, that we can work with less and less people, together with less people, that it's more and more easy to make pictures. That the time of the enormous movie theaters is out, and that we can go to small, intimate theaters to see pictures who are essential, who have an essential stuff, who are important, and that is the best of all. What is, in a way, I'm very optimistic about film and filmmaking. I don't think what is I think it's a pity that this distribution is so complicated and costs so much money. That there are so many people who take away money from the important part of the filmmaking just to make a picture. But one day perhaps we can come to the point where we say, no, we make it otherwise. I don't know. But I cannot because I'm too old now. But the young people can do it, I think.
I'd like to ask you, because you were speaking this morning about...
You must help me a little, because many here want to talk, and I can't see it. Yes?
You were speaking about the importance of intuition
Yes?
in your life and in your work.
Yes?
At what point did you recognize that as your instrument, the word you used this morning?
I don't understand the question exactly.
När förstod du att din intuition var viktig?
When? It's very difficult to say. It was not. I have made so many mistakes in my life, in my personal life and in my artistical life, and I have one advantage. I never make the same mistakes twice. So slowly, I think I learned to trust my intuition, and slowly I invented my intuition, and also slowly I started to train my intuition, because you have to train him. You have to train him, and that can be very difficult because your intuition has a very, very clear and very soft voice. And sometimes your intuition tells you things in a very, very strange way. And you have to listen very carefully. And you must be very clever so that you don't let the reasons around take over. So you have to listen to your intuition, and because the intuition only say you things once, and never start to discuss with your intuition, because if you start to discuss with your intuition, it stops. It will never. It comes. It will never come back.
Vicky?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, what has given you the most pleasure in the last year?
In my personal or in my artistic life?
Any way you want to answer it.
Do you want me to say to come here to Dallas and get the prize? No. What may there are many things, but I've just rehearsed Ibsen's Dollhouse, and suddenly it was an enormous success. So beautiful. I also felt this 14 days before the opening. It turned. The whole thing turned. And that was, I think that was the most wonderful thing that has happened to me the last year. I can. Because that has only to do with how you make theater, how you make film. When you make and now you must think, I live and work in Europe. It's different here. When I go to the studio in the morning, do you understand what I mean? I work 8 hours, and from those 8 hours, but you can come to the theater in the morning, to the rehearsal. We start at or Molière, and sit down, listen to them, analyze them, find, perhaps one day we just find detail, and we feel happy. And that is a very healthy way for an old man, or an elder man, is working with the theater something very good, because you can use your experience. And that is important. Yes.
Mr. Bergman, can
Yeah.
you tell us a little about your current film that you're working on, Candy Alexander?
Oh, this press conference is supposed only to be half an hour. No, it's just short. I wrote the script 1 year ago, a little bit more. I think 1.5 years ago. And it is about a family in a small university city before the First World War. And everything is seen from the point of view of two children, Fanny and Alexander. Fanny is 10 years old, and Alexander is 12 years old. And that is, can you say, Gobelin? It's a lot of people. It's about 150 actors in it. And the shooting time will be about 6 months, so it will be a hell of a job. Yes?
We bring you greetings from the state of Oklahoma, Mr. Bergman.
But I don't want to say anything about it. Are you film critic?
No, sir. That's why I asked.
I tell you, one of my best friends and my great teacher was a theater critic when I was a young man. I had enormous respect for him, and I have learned a lot. Learned a lot from him. And he said, when I was angry about critics, because when I was a young man, I always got angry when it wasn't in the critic that I was a genius. But he told me, Ingmar, always remember, you are here with the actors, and here are the critics, and we are all clowns making our performance for the audience. And then after, and I think that is a wonderful answer. And then I never feel bitterness, personal, for anything what a critic writes about what I have made. Yeah.
Either style or subject or approach.
It's very difficult for me to say, but perhaps I was together with. I started making films in 1944, and at that time it was not so usual that a filmmaker used the camera and the medium in the same way as a writer uses his paper and his pen. And I think I was together with some other, we were the avant-garde who started to make the personal films without any pressure from the companies, from the people who financed the projects. I don't know, but I think because you know, I have never been thinking in that way. As I told you, I just make my tables and chairs, and I am happy with them. And I can be very proud when I have made because I'm as a professional,